Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about tips and tricks on backing your images up, as well as keeping everything organized so it's easy to find when you need it. So let's get started. Working at a camera store, I can't tell you how many times I have people come in with piles of memory cards and say, hey, you know what, I'm looking to buy a new memory card. Now, I usually question them, okay, you have like 6, 7 memory cards here, like what do you need another one for? Or what size are you looking for at least? So I can kind of tell them what they need. They're usually looking for the biggest size they possibly can to hold the most amount of photos, and their reasoning behind buying another memory card is because their other ones are full. So I wanted to make this video to talk about something that's really, really important. Please, for the love of God, do not put all of your files onto your memory card and leave them on your memory card. Back them up, put them onto other sources of media, because these things fail very, very often. And sure, you can get a recovery software and have them recovered, but that's a whole hassle that you don't want to go through. Not to mention, they're easy to lose, and there's a million other things that can go wrong with them. So whatever you do, do not leave your files on your SD cards at all time, and rely on SD cards as your main source of media for holding onto your photos. That's the video. That's about it. Appreciate you checking it out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. But in all seriousness, don't use SD cards. There's a million different ways that you can kind of back your files up and hold on to everything. I'm going to run through some of those with you. I'm also going to run through how I personally back my images up and how I organize them all so that they're easy to find in Lightroom or any other program you use, such as Bridge or Photo Mechanic. One of the best tools that any photographer or any creative for that matter can invest in is external hard drives. I've got these 4 and several others on my shelves. I also have on my desk 3 desktop hard drives that I use for backing up all my files. My hard drive of choice lately has been this right here, the Lacy Rugged drive. These things are absolutely phenomenal. Having the outer casing kind of helps it be a little bit more protected, give you a little bit more peace of mind. I throw this in my bag everywhere I go. If I'm going to work, if I'm going to a friend's house, if I'm going to Starbucks, wherever I'm going that I have access to a computer, this thing comes with me. I took it out west with me. I'll take it on every other trip I have. I've only got one of them right now, but I will be buying a lot more as this one is just about full. With that being said, there are a lot of other options. There's Western Digital and Seagate. There are a few different companies that make hard drives. There's a lot of companies that make hard drives. This is just the one that I choose to use, and I've had nothing but good things to say about it. I have ran into some issues with other hard drives, but that's not saying that you're going to run into issues with them. And I've also got 3 Western Digital desktop drives back there. Now each of those hold backups of all my work. So I have this as my main working drive. This is the one that goes with me everywhere, like I said. I have this on me at all times, whenever I need to edit or shoot or anything like that. When I do need to edit, I plug it into the computer and I edit right off of this hard drive. So I don't take up any storage on my computer. I then have my other external hard drives that are backups, and then I have my 3 desktop drives as backups. The one rule of thumb that I was always told is to keep 3 copies of your work. Now, the best way to practice this is to have 1 copy with you, 1 copy at home, and 1 copy off-site somewhere, whether you're using a cloud-based storage like Google Photos or Amazon Photos if you have Amazon Prime or any of those kind of things, or leave one at your friend's house or at your parents' house or something like that where, say, God forbid, something happens to the house, you have a flood or you have a fire or something like that, and you lose all your hard drives, you at least have that 3rd backup that you can go back to your friend's house or your parents' house or wherever you left it, grab that and back up all of those files to keep, multiple backups. I'm going to leave a little counter on how many times I say backup in this video because it's going to be a lot. And then that brings me to backing up your images. I'm terrible at it. I will be 100% honest with you guys. I don't back my images up regularly, which is a terrible practice. I do actually have in my phone a notification on my calendar to go off every week telling me to back up all of my work. I never follow it. I never actually do it. I usually wait a couple months and then go, oh crap, I have all these photos I need to back up. And then I spend a few hours backing up the photos hoping that they don't disappear. So definitely put yourself on some sort of schedule, whether you use your calendar or any sort of notification software to let you know, back up your images when you get home or whenever you have the opportunity to. That way, you know that you have your images backed up, you know you have your images from last week backed up, so you're not going to lose those if anything goes wrong. And then I did mention online software, cloud software, such as Amazon Prime or Google Photos or any of these other companies that offer that. I personally don't use that. I know that online software is probably more reliable at the moment than physical media. These can be dropped or anything like that. You can have a ton of issues with them, whereas the cloud, as long as the cloud is there and you have internet, you can get your files. I just haven't fully embraced that yet and been able to kind of move everything over there. I still prefer using physical media just because I know that there's something there that I can have and hold, and I don't have to worry about one day the cloud, disappearing and just all of my stuff being gone. I will probably, by the end of this year, start moving stuff over into a cloud-based software so that I do have another backup, but right now I am not using any online software. There's also SSDs and other sorts of kind of hard drives. SSDs are really good because you can get them really small. I am actually looking at potentially replacing this with an SSD and using this as another kind of backup drive. And that they're about this big. I can actually fit on my keychain, and there's no moving parts in it. It's a solid state drive. You don't have to worry about any disk or anything moving around that could potentially go wrong. So they're very, very tough and very fast, which is a really good thing, because if you are working off of your hard drive, you want something fast so that you're not, slowed down when you're trying to edit video or photo or anything like that. And then finally, there's the pretty expensive form, which would be a RAID drive. That's something that I have looked into. I don't feel like I'm there quite yet, but they are really, really, really cool. It's basically something that I could have set up on my desktop or set up anywhere in the house, really, and I would plug it in through the internet or however I decided I wanted to do it. And it's multiple drives that you can swap in and out as you need, and have tons of storage. You can get RAID setups that have 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, however many terabytes you need. And the way it basically works is you can set it up in different formats. I'm not 100% on kind of how RAID works. I haven't messed around with it. I've watched some videos, so I don't actually know if what I'm saying is 100% true. So don't take it as fact. This is just the way I kind of see it. The most common one that people do is they'll use it so that if they have 5 2-terabyte drives, technically what they're doing is they're using 4 of those drives and then 1 as redundant media. So those 4 drives, being 8 terabytes, are going to hold all of their photos, all of their video, everything they need on there. That 5th one, what it's doing is it's constantly running and reading those files so that you're able to rescue them if something goes wrong. So if drive number 3 fails and you lose all of those files, drive 5 can rebuild drive 3 from the memory that it has taken of that. That's the way I kind of see it, the way it kind of people explain it. I'm not 100% sure if that's true, but that's the way it sounds, and it's really, really cool. So I have been looking into it, but they do get very expensive, because not only do you have to buy the housing, but you have to buy the drives. So it does get expensive, but it is a great option, especially if you're a working professional where you need a lot of storage. Now, with that being said, all the backup business and kind of holding your files and all that, I'm going to actually bring you over to the computer, and I'm going to show you how I organize my files and how I go about getting everything into one place so I know where it is when I need it. And so let's head over to the computer and we'll get started on that. Alright, so now that I'm over here at the computer, I'm going to run through how I organize my files using Finder, Lightroom, and that's about it, really. I could use, a lot of people mention Photo Mechanic is a really good option, and some people use Bridge. I prefer to avoid anything else. I just feel like my workflow is not big enough yet, I guess. Like, I'm not doing large enough scale projects that I should need any kind of Photo Mechanic or anything like that. If I shot more weddings and that kind of stuff, then maybe it would be worth the investment. But for me right now, this works perfectly fine. And I'm by no means saying that this is the best way to organize your files. It's just the way that I do it, and I figured I would share it with you guys so you can kind of get an idea of some other ways to organize your files. I've had a few friends mention that they've had a lot of problems with organizing their files or losing files or not knowing even where to start. So that's what this video is going to kind of help out with. So the first thing I always do when I get home is I plug my SD card into the SD card reader, and I drag everything over onto my hard drive into its specific folder, which I'll show you what that usually will look like. That's pretty much it. I don't use Wi-Fi. I don't use the cables. I don't use any other form of transferring. I just use Finder and my hard drive and my SD card. That's it. So we'll go over to the hard drive. As you can see, it's got my name on it. This is the hard drive that I bring with me everywhere. This is my working hard drive. I then have my backup drives, but this is the working drive. So in this, I have 2018, 2019, 2020, which will be all the photos from those years. I'll have LR catalogs, which is going to be my Lightroom catalogs. And then because this is my working drive, I have BC film, other files, pitch deck, wedding, all things that I've been working on using this drive outside. So things I need to have with me at all times. So first thing I'll do is I'll hop into Lightroom catalogs. I organize mine by 6-month increments. So I will do July to December and then January to June. It's pretty simple that way. It just keeps it smaller so I'm not bogging down Lightroom with a whole bunch of photos and kind of just, yeah. If you shoot high volume, you can even do smaller than that. You can do 3-month increments or you can do month increments, however you want to do. I just do 6 months because it just works for me. Yeah, so in here I have 2018, 2019, 2020. 2020 will be one catalog right now because it just started. But if I go into 2019, I have 4 catalogs right now. So normally there'll be 2 unless I do some sort of big project or a trip that I want to have its own catalog. So I have Ariana's wedding, BC, summer, fall, winter, spring. Now the Ariana's wedding one, I took a lot of photos, so I just kind of kept them all in one catalog, so I didn't have to worry about it being any slower or anything like that because it was it was in August, so it was about halfway through the year and there was already a decent amount of photos in there. So BC is my BC trip, so every photo that I shot while I was out west over the course of those 10 days are in there in that catalog so that I can open that and it's just my photos from BC. I then have SF and WS, which is summer, fall, winter, spring. Pretty straightforward. That's how I organize it. It's very simple. Everything's where it needs to be and I know where it is and how to get to it. In the years, 2020 once again will be pretty empty. It just started, so I'll do 2019. This is every shoot that I did in 2019. So not a whole lot, honestly. And then my BC trip in the bottom. So as you can see, I date it and I give a subject. So I do year, month, day, subject. So 2019, 01, 04 Ali. I know that January 4th of 2019, I shot with Ali. So if Ali messages me later on today or in 2 weeks or whatever and says, hey, when we shot last year, I lost the photos and I'd love to post them again. Can you send them to me? I'm able to come into the hard drive and find where they are and send them off. And not worry because I know where they are. Inside of these specific folders, I then have a raw and edited folder. The edited folder is going to be the edited images, like kind of the final exports, and I actually make that folder from Lightroom when I export. In the raw is all my raw files, and as you can see with this one, there's 2 more folders in there. There's a lot of folders, but I like to keep it clean and organized. In these 2 folders, I have GFX and X-T3. They're just the cameras I was using. So generally, all my raw files will be in one folder because I'm only using one camera. But I have my X-T3 that I'm shooting with, and then I have the GFX that Fuji let me borrow, which if you look up in one of these corners, I'm going to try and put a little tag to that first impressions video that I put out last week. So you can take a look at that and kind of see some of the stuff that I shot with the GFX because it is a phenomenal camera. And if I go into the GFX folder, there's every raw file from the GFX that I shot. It was a sunrise shoot, so I didn't shoot a whole lot. I'm also not much of a landscape shooter, but it was a lot of fun. And then the X-T3 will be X-T3 files. I didn't shoot much with the X-T3 because I was doing all... it was for the GFX video. Anyways, there's that. And then I will also usually have another folder in here if I shoot any video, which will be all of my video stuff. So any clips that I shot will go in there, and they will be organized by camera, basically. So we'll go back to my catalogs, open catalog, we'll do 2019, and then we'll open summer fall. Now there are multiple catalogs. It does look a little messy here right now because when it was either when OS X updated or when Lightroom updated, I can't remember exactly, it required an update to the catalog, which kind of messed it up on me. So yeah. All right. So now when I open the catalog, this catalog can go with me anywhere. So if I'm opening it up on my computer here, I have all the photos. If I'm opening it up on my laptop when I'm at work or when I'm at Starbucks or if I'm at a friend's house, everything's here. If I'm opening it up on another computer that's my friend's or whatever, all my photos are here. It works perfectly. Everything is all together where it needs to be. Everything on the left-hand side is pretty much mirrors what was in Finder. So you have the month, day, year, month, day, and then whatever it was that I shot. The way I import my photos is I go over here to the left-hand side to this little plus symbol, hit add folder. It'll open up my hard drive, and then I'll select the folder and hit choose. What that's going to do is it's going to look in the folder, see every file that's in there, and import everything. So right now it is trying to import the edits that I made, but these would be all the raw files. I would hit import, and then it would add it into Lightroom. Very simple. And then over here on the left-hand side, you can open up the folder, and it actually will have subfolders. So as you can see, there's raw. I open that, GFX X-T3. So if I want to see all the photos I shot with the GFX, so I can just edit those or just select those or rate them or whatever it is I want to do, I can click on it. These are all the GFX photos, so I can go through and pick which ones I want. It's pretty straightforward. Like I said, nice, clean. Go up here to 2019-06-09. There's Dundas Peak. I can hop through all the Dundas Peak photos, and I don't have to worry about anything missing or not knowing where it is when I need it. And then when I export my files, I'll export them. Right now I'm just exporting to web size, so I can use it for social media and all of that. I'll export into a new folder within the main folder called edited, and that's where you can find all your edit photos. You can do different folders within that edited folder. There's gonna be a whole lot of folders where you can have web, social media, and print. Social media like Instagram and stuff obviously has optimal export settings. Your website has more optimal settings, and then print is obviously you want the highest resolution that you can possibly get. So you can do multiple folders in there if you want. Right now I'm just doing web and keeping it very, very simple. So that's pretty much it. That's how I organize my files and how I think backing up is important and all that. I really appreciate you checking out the video. If it helped you, leave a comment below. Let me know. If you have another way of organizing your files, leave a comment as well. I'd love to hear some new ways. I'm always looking at trying new things, so I'd love to see what your opinions are. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope it helped out, and appreciate you checking out the video. That's 2 videos in a week, 2 weeks in a row. I'm on a roll, and there'll be another video next Monday. Do I know what it's going to be? No. But it'll come out next Monday, I can tell you that much. So if you want to leave a subscription, hit the bell icon so you do get notifications when all my videos go live. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, I don't know, pretty much every social media at this point. And you can find me over there, and I'll also post about videos. As well as on Instagram, a lot of the time I'll do polls or I'll do kind of Q&As and stuff asking you guys what it is you want to see, or give you options on 2 different videos when I am going to be making a video shortly, so you guys can kind of have a say on what comes out. Because one of the biggest things is I want to create content that you guys like, and that's the biggest plan. So I really appreciate you checking out the video. I will catch you guys next time, and yeah, that's about it. Peace.